Hello. Well, my name is Elisha Royal, and this is Leroy, and you are watching CDH Unhinged. Um, so, a couple of notes about the last video that we were doing with the deck changes. That's a good place to start. First off, the audio was not so great. So what we're going to do is use the same recording and microphone system that we use for this portion of the video for this portion of the video. So I got a different apparatus there in order to make that happen. You guys deserve good videos, so I'm going to make them for you. My man, I cannot believe you've done this. We'll see if the microphone picks that up. But this dude just ripped an epic amount of ass right in my lap. I don't know if I can keep you in here. My dude, that was a little much. We're going to continue with the video as if that didn't happen, but my man, I might have to find a solution for you that's not you scratching at the door or ripping booty in my face. Okay, back to Urza stuff. So we're going to try and continue with the philosophy of using our top deck casters as hard win cons. What I mean by a hard win con is basically if you don't counter that thing on the stack, there's a better there's a pretty good chance that it leads to the win. I want it to have about the same consistency as an Adnaz. Like, does Adnaz win every single time? No. Does it merit every single piece of interaction that you have? Yes. So I want it to be one of those kind of cards. So I want Mystic Forge, Crystal Skull, Isu Spyglass. I want Future Sight. I want Magus of the Future, Fortune Teller's Talent, Reality Chip. I want all of those. Tezzeret as well because it can get Mystic Forge or the Spyglass. I want those basically to be the heaviest cards in the deck. And then everything else around that, super low to the ground, very low cost. And then here's the thing that we haven't done intentionally in the past that I think will make this thing smoother. We're going to add top deck manipulators. We haven't done that intentionally and kind of relied on it just happening naturally. But we are really going to focus with this next iteration of the build towards refining the intention of making those top deck casters just lethal. I didn't get one on the field. And that was really disappointing during this tournament. And we're going to make sure that we are mulliganing appropriately because I just described to you how many of these cards can top deck cast, and the buy-in to get those going is 5 mana. And we can do that. We can produce 5 mana. So let's get going. Last note, Urza made the Game Changers list. Not a lot to talk about with the new tier system, but it is notable that he is on there. I would be really upset if he ate a ban at some point. Would be really weird. But seeing his name on there didn't make me feel good. Anyway, all right, let's go build the deck. Oh, okay, buddy. Well, how much better is that, everybody? Can already tell. That was the way to go. All right. We've got these SCGCon tickets. As you can see, I did not use them. I came for one thing and one thing only. That was to compete in the event. I didn't even pick up my playmat. Should have done that. But whatever. What's this doing in here? Oh, okay. This actually belongs to my buddy. He lent me a proxy in the meantime while I was picking up my real workshop, which we have in here, which we will eventually go over later. So let's actually just put that right back in there. Why would I take that out? All right, it feels bad to go back through the binder from the start. But with this new intention, right, we're going to Chief engineer. Okay, yeah. So with this new goal in mind of basically making sure that every single time we cast one of these top deck casters, we're getting really close to ending the game. We're going to look through these cards one more time. So chief engineer. Again, if I'm sitting here just like he and Han over something, I'm going to set that aside for the moment because maybe that'll be something that just fits in really well later. So World Walker Helm also, and I don't want to spend too long doing this either. So Thran Turbine. That's kind of cool because it gets the two colorless. We talked about that last time, but really what I'm here for is the bauble because the bauble is one of those things that's just gonna fly. We're gonna fly through the deck with that thing. Cloud key reducer. We want we want to be able to just fly through the deck. That's the idea. Just burr. Um, Offer so tempting because it's like we can pretty reliably just counter our own cast, you know, and it's like one counter spell is cool. But let's grab the Seed Shark because it's cool. So Draft has an interesting one. In this build, um, I found that Draftna can actually be just like a pretty cool win con. And it's also a backup piece of interaction. Like, let's say I'm dropping my Basalt. Ooh, we're going for the win. And then they put a counter on it because guess what? We don't have any counter spells, and they know that. It's a pretty safe bet. We can activate our copy target artifact spell you control, put another one on the stack, hopefully save our game. So we are going to set that one aside because guess what? Any port in a storm, any protection any port in a storm. That's funny because we're stormless. But anything we can do to give a little bit of protection to ourselves when we're trying to combo off. Our stack's getting pretty thick, and the 48 hours in between those last thoughts and these ones are starting to seem like a lot longer than I thought they were. So maybe I should have reviewed my own video. But Foundry Inspector, again, it's one of those things where it just feels really heavy in my hand. But now that but it's just like let's think about how many one drops we're gonna have. Like, how juicy would it be to just like drop a workshop, boom, Foundry Inspector, all the zero drops, all the one drops. There goes my hand. Like, that's pretty juicy. You know, that sounds nice to me. Aboleth Bond. If Dockside gets unbanned, you're coming back. I think we already talked about that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Doing okay. We didn't miss a lot. Not that hearse is kind of cool. Um, Yep, the bauble. Baubles. They're pretty sweet, but I don't like that. I mean, it takes a turn. It doesn't do anything this turn. It's always just gonna be a zero drop thing. That I mean, yeah, I get to look at the card, but it doesn't do anything the turn that I cast it, and that's always upset me. So, in the realm of zero drops, if we are looking for things that change the game when I cast it, the baubles don't do that. The One Ring. I mean, this must be. I mean, hmm. I don't really like storming into the One Ring. Yeah, Helm. We're just gonna break you back out because guess what, dude? No, most of the time, people are casting things with pips. Oh Lord, hello, buddy. Oh, we're getting interrupted. We're getting interrupted. Okay. You don't. I don't. I don't feel bad about kicking out the cat. The cat can. The cat can go. Yep. Oh, are you leaving too, buddy? Okay. Dog kicked himself out. That's all right. Okay. Let's take a peek. What do we got? The prismatic lens. I'm gonna set that aside because 2 mana rocks are kind of premium right now, especially with the storm list. It's like it does feel bad to be like, oh, I'm casting off the top, and it actually, and then your mana rock goes mana negative. That always feels a little, not cool. Oh, the Mind Stone. Okay, we were talking about being able to manipulate the top. So in that world, Mind Stone actually a little bit better, but I already pulled the prismatic so it can hang out for a minute. Mana Drain seems so good because we can reliably make, not reliably, but pretty reliably, like leave Okay, so I'll tell you a story about a tournament that I was in where I just got some macked by a Kinnan who had a cracked hand, but was going second. I was going first, and I had a really good hand, and he could foresee a turn to Urza, and I was like, I'm just gonna go into it. I'm just gonna go. And he mana drained. Um, like he just read me like a book. Basically, he was going second. He left a blue source and a Chrome Mox with a blue source open. Just waited for me to Urza, took the 4 mana, booted me right out of the game, and then dropped his Basalt combo, had whatever outlet with the Kinnan, and took the dub there turn 2. And it was just like it made me feel dumb. So it's just the upside of a mana drain is just so hardcore, and it feels ridiculous to cut it. Um, but we are going to find another way around. I mean, it's ridiculous to be able to drop a 4 mana artifact and play your entire deck. That's the ridiculousness that we're banking on, right? That's a ridiculous capability. The capability that we're creating is even more awesome, even more powerful. That's what we're banking on, and we haven't really, tested it. We haven't really got there 100% yet. We're punching with 80% power, 70% power, and we're getting there. So let's keep going and see what we can do with this thing. Muddle the mixture. So there's like a couple of counter spells where it's like we can afford the top deck hit to, because it's basically just like hitting another land or something like that. At least you can play the land, and then most lands you can tap and do that. So it's like it's not quite the same. But I'm talking about a roadblock in the deck, and honestly, stopping on a counter spell, and most of the time it being revealed off of your future side effects. Not most of the time, but sometimes having it revealed, it's like it's not the worst thing in the world for everybody to just see that you're sitting on a fierce on the top, sitting on a misstep on the top. You know, if you can't continue the chain. But we're not here to do that. We're here to go all the way through the deck. That's the thing. We're trying not to make concessions like that and see if the deck still operates. See what I'm saying? And it's not going to for a while. It's going to look silly. It's going to feel dumb. All right? But we're going to make it happen. Energy tap feels kind of cool. But it just comes into play just a little bit too late game. Hermit, we're going to pull because we like interaction. And Hermit does what it does. Expensive, 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 expensive. Born, you manipulate the top and provide a window to win in the mid game. And storming off of the top, it's like again, you get it's not the worst option. I think we can make the case. Phantasmal image. What do we think about you? Because it can be any, you know. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, I actually Phantasmal. When's the last time you saw somebody rock a Phantasmal? Honestly, remember when everybody had one? I think that Phantasmal gets set aside. Yeah, I almost like it more than the flesh duplicate. Why'd I pass up on flesh duplicate if I'm pulling out a Phantasmal? You know, isn't it weird how it's just like you've seen Phantasmal win a whole bunch of games, and so you're attached to it in kind of like a emotional way, but not a logical way, and then you look. I mean, it's I swear I passed up on that flesh duplicate. Yeah, I mean, and that's where it's just like, ugh, too many cards, can't have them all. Oh, is that the UPS driver? No way. Is it? Are they just barking for no reason? Dude, all right, I'm gonna. Uh, my Mystery Booster 2 is coming in the mail. And yeah, I didn't see him out there though. I just heard the dog barking. If that does come, we'll pause and then we'll bring it back. I'm like, I already have all the cards that I need, so I'm like, I don't even know if I'm gonna open it or if I'm just gonna like open one pack at a time for you guys on the stream, send you out cool cards. not to stream the videos. But anyways, I don't know what to do with those things yet. But yeah, hopefully we get some cool things. Trinisphere, no sculpting. No. So Elixir, that's actually an interesting one. I think that the Elixir is gonna. The library looping capabilities are really cool, right? And have I actually run into a scenario where I needed to loop my library recently? No, I never actually have been bit by non-library looping capabilities. That's it's like it comes out of the binder and then it goes right back in because it is what it is. I've played a whole bunch of games, never needed to loop my library, just haven't. Sorry, Time Twister, I'd buy you if I needed you, but I don't. Um, Commander's Plate. I was saying that any port in a storm thing, but okay, let's see. Let's just play this out. I've got Urza. We're chilling, and I draw a Commander's Plate. How do I feel about that? Does it piss me off? Am I annoyed? Eh. I'm storming off, and I run into Commander's Plate. Ooh, Commander's Plate. No, I don't feel it. It's not happening. Let's see. Glasses of Urza, dude. I'm kind of stoked on this card. Is it just because we play Urza? Is it just because that's kind of our thing? I want to make it work. We're storming off. You know, we're just kind of zooming through. I mean, if that's the case, then why don't I just grab all of those? Right? We're gonna go with the glasses. I mean, I feel like I can politic these glasses hard. You know, my politics are pretty bad, but I feel like I can make that work. The voltaic key. Oh, here's my thing about the key. It's really cool if you don't have Urza and you have something, you're hanging out with like a mana vault or something. What is going on with these animals? All right, I'm gonna pause this thing. I'm gonna come back. I'm hoping that we got a mystery booster too after this. Nice. Okay. Well, I was not actually expecting this to arrive today, but here it is. So, again, I don't necessarily know what to. I mean, I just couldn't pass it up. It was such a good deal. And there is not more of an Urza product out there, you know? Like, I just don't think there is. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's toss that away. And what do we have here? Is there anything else in the box? There's not. Okay. Look at that. That's what we're dealing with right here. I did not get the first one. And I was disappointed. Which is why I had to buy the super fancy future sight Urza myself. Not that you have a great chance of pulling one of these, but of course that's what we're going for. Let's crack the seal. It's so tempting to just open this right now, isn't it? Right? Oh wow. I mean, I guess I should have thought about that. It's like, do I even care about any of the promos? Should I just kept that seal? But like, I didn't even really think about that. Well, here we are. Welcome to your own personal Magic Con. Woo! I'm celebrating it here with you guys. Let me make sure. Did I hit record on this? Like, it would really suck if I didn't. Yeah, we're in good shape. Okay. Welcome to your own personal Magic Con. Celebrate on social with hashtag MTG Festivals. Woo. What do we got here? Well, that's kind of cool. It is stuck to it. There's adhesive on that. That's kind of sweet. Do we know what's in here? Like, do I have to? Like, are there different things in here that is worth? Do I have just a convenient pair of scissors? Probably not. I didn't come prepared for this. Well, will you guys forgive me if I run away and go and get a pair of scissors? I guess that's kind of annoying. No, we're just gonna. Nah, it's all right. We're just gonna. Oh, there's nothing super valuable in here. What a terrible way to transport cards with adhesive, because it makes me just like fucking manhandle it. Yeah, I marked this video as not for kids, so I can say that. Let's see. Ooh, I need to trim my nails. Look at that. I promise I take care of myself. Is this turning into like an unboxing channel? I actually did. Oh, the Animar and Friends. That's what that is. Secret layer. Cool. That can go with the rest of the secret layers. Bow. Sarah the Oh, this is okay. This is just the standard ones. Yeah, I don't think I cared about any of these at all. The first sliver, whatever. I don't care. Ponder. Oh shit. Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. That is Urza, right? Yes, dude. Well, I mean that just what's that one? Second City. Okay, who could what? What is this? Um yeah, where are my perfect fit sleeves? Pleasant surprise. Wow. Yeah, we're just gonna pop that right in there. I feel like I gotta run this card now. Thank goodness we were talking about running low to the ground and needing yeah. Look at that. Just got a little bit of dust up there. Yeah, looking good. Cool art. Wow. Yeah. It's a nice little. I was just sitting here talking. I was talking trash about it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna want any of the cards in here. Let's just, yeah, one more. Yeah, that's a good card. Okay, first sliver. Does somebody care about you somewhere? Are you the first one and are somehow special? I don't know. Just in case. Let's pop that one here. Maybe this will just go out to one of you guys because again, I'm not gonna use this thing. It's just gonna go in the binder things. Like I don't want it to get even like mixed in with my real cards. You see what I'm saying? I know where it's at. I don't know. Here it is. I brought my trade binder to the convention, but I didn't actually end up using it. There's a nice little slot right there. You just pop you right there. Bop. I know nothing about this card. Sarah the Benevolent. Yeah, jeez. I just it's like what card's worth it's not the monetary value of the perfect fit. The 1 cent or 2 cents or whatever. It's the time. What's your time worth? Is it worth putting together a jeez, dude. I bought an entire thing of Time Spiral in French, and it's like, if anybody wants French cards, please take them from me. Yeah, cool. Okay, that's that. You see, I get sidetracked. Like this is okay. Second City. Are these Does it? I'm sure someone wants these. I'm sure somebody wants these. Somebody wants everything. It's annoying. So perfect fit. Why would I think anything different? Let me just. Sorry, guys. At least I opened it up to a good page. All right. In the binder. And Animar and Friends. Do we know what's in here? Do we care what's in here? No, we don't. That's just gonna go right into the Safeola with the secret layer pile. Cool. That is where that is gonna go. Yeah, look at that. Mystery Booster 2. I mean, I want to open this desperately. But there's a couple of things that weigh on my mind. The monetary value of this box and how broke I am after buying a Mishra's Workshop. Right? And two, that my wife's not home and said that she would be pretty soon. So I think what's going to end up happening is we're just going to set that aside. We'll do a separate little thing where we open that up together because she's going to want to be there for that because she's not the biggest fan of the game, but will want to be there for that because who wouldn't be? Who doesn't like watching people open packs, which is why we're going to let you watch that too. But let's get back on track with this new ponder set aside to what we were doing, right? Okay. Yeah, what a nice card. What a good looking card. Okay. Moving on. Trinisphere, no. Sculpting Skill, no. We talked about Elixir and the plate. I feel like we just skipped right over KCI. And it's one of those things where that's a card that was huge before I came around. So I look at it and I'm like, you know, I probably just don't get it. I probably just don't get how great it is, which is why I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to try it out. I'm sure it's cracked. I have Vecna. Ooh. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Yep. Right? That's a card that we do, right? Vecna. Manifold. Another untapper. No. So Artificer's Intuition, that's an interesting one in this deck because, again, that top deck manipulation is really cool, and then being able to reliably get to D-Sensei's top. Yeah, how cool is that? And we were talking about needing more tutors. It's the discard, right? We don't like to discard. That's not a thing that we generally do around here. But we're going to go hard. We're going to play to our strengths, right? Kobe Bryant was saying, when you're trying to win, you play to your strengths, right? Winter Orb, we're not gonna assume the worst and be like, okay, we're gonna get trapped behind our own Winter Orb, so we're not gonna play. We're just gonna set that aside and be like, you know what, that's a thing that we'll storm into, and they'll have to deal with that. Metamorph. Man, I want to so bad, but just that 3 always feels so heavy. Like it shouldn't, but it does. Thopter. No. Missed, though. We are going to pull you out. Let's observe the text of Riddlesmith. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Well, it's a may. So we're gonna okay. So here's the thing: is that we're always gonna be able to see what's on the top, right? Like we're not gonna be casting something that we can't see. So Riddlesmith is one of those things where because it's a may, yeah, man. Like it's so what I'm trying to get Riddlesmith to do is get my lands off the top. So we're gonna cast an artifact, and that will reliably trigger the Riddlesmith, which will draw the land, and then discard the land, and then there will be an artifact there, and I'll cast it, which will trigger Riddlesmith, and there will be another artifact there, and I would also like to know because then I discard it. You see, so I don't trigger it. Yeah. So I'm fine discarding the lands. Riddlesmith, that's dope. That just makes it so that I just tear through those lands. See, this is one of those things where it's just like I didn't want to have to depend on cards like a Riddle Smith or a Artificer's Assistant in order to manipulate the top deck. I just didn't want to have to go that far. Frantic Search, draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards, untap up to 3 lands, and pay way too much mana at 3 in order to do so. So that's not going to be played. Allspark, so doubling cube, excuse me. Does that have combos in this deck? No, because we're not running any untappers, right? I don't think that's doing anything for us. Okay. Semblance Anvil. If you drop a Semblance Anvil, yes, Semblance Anvil. Okay, this is why. Okay, here we go. This is why Semblance Anvil is going to be cracked on this list, is because if you drop an artifact creature, which we run a whole bunch, like if you just drop an artifact, or excuse me, if you drop an Ornithopter, get that artifact and creature reduction by 2 off the Semblance Anvil, you're cooking, bro. You're cooking. You're cooking. Let's set that aside. Copy artifact always pisses me off. Sai. Yeah, I like being able to manipulate the top deck through your draw ability. Why does copy artifact piss me off? Because it doesn't activate any of the artifact cast triggers. It's not reduced by my artifact reducers. Sometimes there's nothing worth copying on the field. It costs that blue pip. All around annoys me. It just does. But it could be a one. Yeah, it could. Lithiform Engine. I really like that you combo with Dramatic Reversal, but let's be honest right now, you cost 4 mana, so let's go with the Psych Rift because we're trying to get some interaction in here. We're trying to get going. Granted, I don't like that it has to be something that you don't control because, yeah. Machine over Matter. Yeah, we have a whole boatload of artifact creatures. What am I doing? What am I doing without a Machine over Matter hanging out in my deck? I feel like that's almost a must include. Okay, what is this? Clan Crafter. Let's read it. Commander creatures you own have pay 2, sack an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on it, and draw a card. Like, we want to manipulate the top deck. Yeah. I mean, it's low to the ground and it gets that thing off the top. That's what we want, right? For 4, though, ugh. 4 and a draw. And we split it up. That could be there beforehand. It's kind of a cool setup. It's set aside. It's not in, but it's set aside. Okay. Sonic Screwdriver. We didn't even talk about you. It's your 3 mana. Lantern of Insight. I think you're going in. And Amphibian. Snapback. Yeah. And Apple. Jeez, Apple. Oh, why do you have to be 4 mana? Couldn't you be... I'm trying to think of how they could downscale Apple and make it 3 mana. Because wouldn't that be cracked? Just Mishra's right off the bat and nab somebody's hand and play all their rocks. Oh yeah, get out of here. There's no way to balance that. We're gonna run Lantern and Snapback because we need to get on the board early game. I really like that Snapback capability because sometimes that's all you need. Just send it right back. Amphibian Downpour. That's worth setting aside because it just, but at 3, like it goes so hard. Like it's just a hose. It's a hose, right? But at 3, are we in the market for 3 mana hoses? It's a really nice 3 mana hose. But is that what I'm out to buy today? I don't know. Non-artifact spells you have. Non-artifact spells you cast have improvise. That just sounds cracked. Let's think about this. I have an Inspiring Sanctuary in my hand, and I have a Mishra's Workshop. And I drop that thing. Wow! Boom, Inspiring Sanctuary, and I got a let's say I got an Ornithopter, flies in. Um, Non-artifact spells I cast have improvise. I tap that thing for what? What do I have? Maybe that cool Urza Ponder. That sounds kind of sweet. And then I have a land, and then turn two, I drop another one, and then I'm working with 3 mana for like it gets me. Your artifacts can help cast those spells. Each artifact I can tap this, bro. I can just that gets me Urza. In that scenario, that's kind of cracked because it taps itself. So Ornithopter, tap, 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 Urza, smash, bro. And then you're off to the races. Inspiring Statuary, that might be Crackarina. That might be the stuff. Brainstorm, we were just talking about needing something like you. Something like you. Let's see. I'm trying to move away from these things. Trophy Mage, Drift of Phantasms, 3 mana, Telegraphed, narrow, just overall pretty schmid. Pretty schmid in the tutor game. All right, I think we're getting to the end of it. Omenhawker. You don't do anything when I cast you. High Tide. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Look at that. All right. Well, there's that. So let's just go over a little rundown of what we're working with, and we'll categorize them up because that's what we do. That's what we do next. Oh yeah, my wife's bringing back Chipotle. That's what we're doing. Okay, Brainstorm. You are an instant. Okay, let me see. What are the boundaries of the vision here? They're actually. I'm just going to keep it within my duct tape because that's why it's there. Okay, Brainstorm. You are a category, right? You're kind of sorry. There's a little hair right there. You do your own thing. Yeah, you're kind of a unique thing. You're kind of a unique thing. You're kind of a unique thing. You're pretty close to that. That you're kind of unique in the same way that that's unique. This you go there as well as you. Sorry, you're here as well as this guy and you, and you're over here. I'm not spending a lot of time like justifying what category I'm putting these things in. I guess I'm spending more time making sure that the cards are presentable than I am. Because I'm going to look at these cards. This is going to sit here a while. I want to make sure that they're available. Winter Orb. You can go here. With the eye. And then KCI, you kind of go in like it's like in between. Like I'm gonna collapse these. See that how that happened? Ponder. You go back over there. Glasses goes here. I think. No. Here for sure with the lantern. Flesh and Phantasmal. A couple of copiers. You can be your own thing. Born. Yeah. Hermit. Yep. Stone in the lens. You can hang out there. Helm here. You definitely go here. Draphna, you're a weird little man. Bobble. Shark. Key. Bobble. Engineer. Kind of here. Kind of here. I'm putting it here. Sea Devil. So now we're getting into the The stuff that I pulled out from the other day, when we can see the delineation of my thinking, where this is all low to the ground. This is all like I can storm this off of the top, or at least it accentuates storming if it's a little bit higher in CMC, such as Cloud Key, Chrome Host, Foundry Inspector, which is like why I've cut those in the past, where it's like it's nice to have things that just naturally fly off the top rather than things that accentuate flying off the top. There's a weird, it almost works against you. C double, I don't think you're going to make it. You don't come into play until the late game. God Pharaoh statue, yeah. We're going to rely on, again, being right next to the ground. If we run into a mid-range build, you'll be considered later, you'll be considered later. Isn't this weird? It's like you just wake up on a different day and you've thought a lot more about it and things go differently. Scroll, you're kind of gonna get set aside. Recall, Bay. Okay, yeah. So we can start sorting these ones out. So, Merchant Scroll, you're a tutor. You're your own thing. Recall, also kind of interesting. Let's make another pile that can encompass Born, which didn't quite fit over there, with the Merchant Scroll and the Recall, right? Just a little utility pile. Which also is going to have to include this bay diversion unit. I like the idea of this diversion unit. And it should naturally hang out with the Hermit, right? But I feel like now this is more appropriate, isn't it? Doesn't that look better? Paradoxical outcome. What do I do with you? What do I do with you? Paradoxical. We're just going to put you here. Right? Unstoppable plan. Does this fit into what I'm doing right now? No. Fibblethip. I really want you to work. I do. But I'd be really annoyed if I cast you off of. Nope. Archmage. Yeah. It's not a guaranteed thing. Right? Okay, let's see. I play Archmage. One artifact leads to another, leads to another. It's almost guaranteed if you have enough. Right? It's so strong for 4 that it's so strong with this build. We're going to set it aside. Curse. Yeah. We're trying to get some interaction going on here, guys. Well, Inventor. I feel so bad. Like, we just do need tutors. Tutors just feel bad. I don't like them. Get probes, dope. Ponder. I really like the art on this one. But that Ponder is so much better. It just is what it is. It is what it is. I think my wife just got home. I can hear her out there talking to the cat. Which means that our time here might be coming to an end for the moment. Yep. All right. I'm going to leave this where it's at. I'm going to go do real life things. And then the next time you see me, we'll be talking about this. Take it easy.